My name is Tina, and I am mom to Jordan and Weston, who were diagnosed with CF through the newborn screening test in Colorado. Finding out this news first when Jordan was born was quite devastating. So finding out this was quite overwhelming at the time because I didn't know anything about the disease really. At this time, also 20 years ago, we didn't have internet to go get information from. So everything I had to get was from the doctors and the nurses. I relied completely upon them to tell me what to expect, what to do, and what we were about to go through. Jordan was pretty asymptomatic for the first few years. The only thing we basically did was to make sure she got her enzymes. And that wasn't hard. It wasn't, you could put them in the baby food and cereals and stuff, so that wasn't really hard. When Weston was born, 2 years later, things changed with how we experienced this disease. He, probably within his first month, he spent about a month in and out of the hospital. We were having some breathing issues, his lungs just weren't very strong, and we were having, the disease was becoming very relevant at this time, as he had pneumonia, I think 3 times within the first 2 years. That was hard. There were times where he was sick, he required a lot of attention, required a lot of breathing treatments, and it's hard with 2 kids, and especially 2 toddlers, to, not the other one, to see that the brother's always sick. For Jordan, she didn't always like seeing him sick, but she wanted to play too. She wanted attention, and seeing brother get a lot of attention was hard. As a mom, I think I was always in go mode, trying to keep them healthy. At one point, when we were no longer living near our clinic, and we used an alternative natural doctor, I took it upon myself that this has got to be my job to find out how to keep them healthy, how to, what we needed to do to keep the symptoms and everything at bay. We never wanted to treat them like they were sick. We never wanted anybody to see them as sick. So we really didn't even tell people that they had CF unless they were close friends. We really didn't even tell the kids they had this disease until probably, I think Jordan might have been around 9 or 10, and Weston probably would have been about 7 or 8. We tried to do things outside to keep them active, to keep them healthy. We encouraged them to do sports and to do things to offset the lack of some of the breathing treatments that we didn't do. As the kids got older, we were able to get the vest, and the kids loved this. With CF, you have to do the chest percussions, and parents are to do the thing on the back, or whoever is to use the little cup to pound on the back, and those became hard at times. So when the vest came, kids loved it. We would put it in front of the TV, and they would put on their favorite videos or their music, and they would sing with it so they could hear the vibrations, and that is not a treatment or a therapy to them, so they loved it. And it was fun, and it took one of the things away that we no longer had to try to fit in that was not fun. The other thing we got was a steam shower. We had that installed into our shower, and we had a big walk-in, and the kids could get in and play, and did not see that as another form of therapy. It was used to break up congestion, to kind of keep things loosened. It's very consuming disease, but I think education, you have to educate yourself on what the disease is in the body and how it affects. Things I wish I'd have known then was how to help the body adjust to the high calorie load that they expect you to get in. When they're toddlers, trying to get that food in, yeah, that was a nightmare. I think given as a parent, You're going to have to learn that it's still all a trial and error and a growing time. So you're going to have to give yourself a little bit of grace. Things are changing always. So what might work this month may change and go completely different the next month. I think as a caregiver, you're going to have to learn that it's okay to modify. Words I would encourage moms or caregivers would be do nothing out of fear. There were a lot of times that I was fearful of my kid getting sick, fearful of losing my kid, fearful of what happens or what might be. So my motivations were to always try to keep them well. I think sometimes I was more of over the top instead of just enjoying certain things. But I would just say do nothing out of fear. I was always very comfortable at times with doing what we were doing until I got there. And then it would be like, oh, we're not doing enough. And then I would get back home, settle in, and we'd be like, the fear would be subside that, okay, we're doing what we need to be doing. But fear was a big motivator for me for a lot of things. So I would say do nothing out of fear.